Hi everyone, Close Designs here, and this is part 12 of the Tamiya 132nd scale F-16 Fighting Falcon build. So we're pretty much done at this point. I just have one little part that needs to go on the top of the tail, a little strobe light kind of thing, and then the build is complete as far as the airplane is concerned. And then the engine, of course, but I consider that part of the diorama. And the decals that we've been waiting for, of course, they're on the aircraft now. We're all done those. And if you've probably noticed, the decals that were on the plane in the last video, we've stripped them off. So if you've been following along, all the decals that we had on, all the way up to this point are gone, except for one. That one right there, that one right there, that black one, that's the only one that remains. So all the decals that you see now are all the new ones. So we're going to be talking about the new decals that I got in, the big scale Viper ones. And we're going to be talking about the weathering. I've weathered half the airplane and the other half is not weathered. So I'm going to be talking about that here today as well. But firstly, these decals here, these big scale Vipers, decals are from Cartograph. Amazing. I can't say enough for these decals. The ones that come with the kit are good, but these are great. So if you're building another one of these aircraft, like I have the Academy one, I'm going to be ordering another set of these because amazing. They gel to the plane like butter. Right? Now, of course, I've put on another coat of semi-gloss over top of this as well, but still, even so, like they, with a little bit of microsol as well, they go on so well. Like here's the microsol that I've used in the micro set right there, and then the microsol right there. Now you got to be careful with using this as well, right? Because they can disintegrate your decals. But getting back to the decals here. Now, there's lots here, but if you want to do another aircraft, because of the way the markings go, you might want to order another set because I don't think there's enough here to do another airplane. Now, of course, with depends on what kind of Viper you want to build on the paint schemes, because there's different paint schemes, right? You got the traditional medium gray with gunship gray 2, or you can do like the newer version right here, right? So you got options, but they're just amazing decals. I can't say enough. And like the layout, like the call out cards here, like they're pretty decent, right? Now this is the one I went with right here, the fireballs. But of course I changed up the numbers a little bit, right? Because like this is 910382. I just kind of switched it around. It says 382910. So just so I can make the aircraft my own. So I'm not copying any one aircraft. So that's the one I went with right here. But you can choose your own. But I just amazed with not only the clarity, but like they're not even that thick, right? Like, so if you're planning on building an F-16, definitely get your hands on this set of big scale Viper set of decals for sure. Now, like I said, I've weathered. Actually, we'll just take a little look at some of the decals here. It's kind of hard to focus. Like I said, the only one that remains is that one there. I decided to keep that one because I liked it. But all else is new. Because I found, if you go back in the videos, I'm not too sure, the way the light hits them, you can tell they're decals. As with these ones, it almost has that painted on look now. Now, of course, I have put some weathering on it and put a gloss coat over top and such, right? Now, another thing too, because the canopy itself is not glued on, what I did is I took the old canopy when I did the gloss coat, is I took that canopy off, put this canopy over top, as well as the old piece that, or like the one I'm not using with that. I placed this on top like this, and then I sprayed. So that way none of my cockpit details, got spray inside. As well as those panels that I have for the diorama, I put those over top as well. And then I did the spray, the semi-gloss spray to seal in the decals, just so all my flat details in there wouldn't get semi-glossed. So if you're not using this canopy, then that's a good way to block that. And then for the radar dish, what I did is because this moves, I just pivoted it into there, and that blocked the spray. So that's a little trick you can use. Now for the weathering, of course, the camera might not pick up all the weathering, but what I'm using is just these right here. Basically the soot, the rust, and the oil stains. And just wetting my brush and getting into the seams a bit. Now the camera might be like really, like for here in person, for some reason that's not as, I don't know, what do you call it, intense, I guess you can say. The camera's really making that more than it is, if that makes sense. So it's kind of hard to, it's really embellishing it, if that makes kind of sense. And then once that's on, I lightly take the sand, because this is in a New Mexico aircraft. I lightly take my my brush that comes with this set and just kind of lightly dust all over the aircraft, because this plane's in New Mexico. And then if you see that little shimmer this plane gives, because this is an aircraft, right? I actually take this brush, or foam, I guess you can say, and careful over the decals, because you don't want to, risk, lifting them up. But you actually rub this all over the aircraft, right? And that actually kind of buffs the airplane. And then that's what gives that metal look, if that makes sense. And then I take a little bit of silver and, kind of rub that out a little bit, because that's where obviously the probe goes, for refueling the aircraft. There's still more detail needs to go there. And we're still not done, right? Because this is just, I'm just showing you where we're at with this point. But obviously the camera is really embellishing the, the detail, because in person it doesn't look this, exaggerated. I guess that's the word I'm looking for. In person it looks proportional. That's the word I'm looking for, if that makes sense. Now you don't want to detail right here the leading edges too much, and you don't want to detail the flaps too much, because obviously no one's going to be walking there. So you want to put a little bit of detail there, but not as much. And of course the fuel tanks haven't been detailed yet. Obviously decals need to go there. I'm just working with the aircraft right now. Fuel tanks and stuff will come later. I have started detailing a little bit, there, as you can tell. The wheels and stuff I'll be, detailing as it goes. But as you can tell right here, we've obviously detailed there. We're weathered, a bit. You don't want to get too fancy with the weathering, because aircraft get dirty, but not filthy. Again, in person it doesn't look like that. The camera's just picking it up, that way. Same with here. For some reason the camera's really grabbing it. And then obviously you go to this side and no weathering's been done. So you can really tell the difference between, weathering and no weathering. And then there's the other decal right there. And from the last video, I was really debating, because this wasn't on there the last video. I was really debating whether I wanted this on or not. This actually isn't glued on. With this Tamiya kit, you actually have the ability to attach this on, or, at will. So this actually can be taken on or off. I think within reason. I think actually over time, if you play with it too much, it'll just wear out. It's almost like a friction fit. So I think over time, if you play with it too much, it's just gonna, wear out that ability. So I just don't know if I'm probably going to keep it on there, but I don't know. I did build it and have it attached, so you know, you tell me if you like it on there or not. But I know it goes with the aircraft, but I think it blocks some of the detail, like from the wheel and all the wires I did. But well, it's there anyway. But again, more detail needs to go for the fuel tank. Obviously, decals need to go there and there, and I might put a little more heavy weathering on some of the fuel tanks and stuff because you know, they're not, you know, particular to each aircraft. I mean, you know, fuel tanks, you know, it's not this aircraft's fuel tank, right? So, but you can tell obviously from that wing to that wing, no weathering. I did that on purpose for this video, right? Just to show you. I haven't gone too much weathering on the canopy yet because I might do a name on there. I might do like my grandfather's name in honor of him. You know, put his name on the aircraft. And again, one more piece needs to go here. And then obviously the engine area, I might do a little bit of weathering in here. Not too much, that stays fairly clean. But you can tell, right, no weathering on the tail. And then there's the weathering. Again, the camera really embellishes it. It does not look that dirty in person. But there we go. Some more weathering will go on the tires a bit, right? You want to weather those up a bit because obviously they'll pick up whatever's on the concrete a bit. And then we'll weather up the pylons a little bit, right? Not too heavily. And we'll weather up, you know, down there a little bit. I really didn't go too heavy on the decals underneath. I'm going to be honest, just because you're never going to see right under the airplane. So I'm going to be honest, and I really didn't do too much underneath. For the next aircraft that we do, like the Academy one, that'll be on a stand. We'll probably do a lot more of the decaling underneath. But yeah, you're not going to get too much weathering in there. Now that stays very clean. So we're probably not going to touch that too much. But other than that, this aircraft is pretty much done. I'm going to continue on weathering under, you know, this side. And then we'll finish off with that piece, and we'll put a name on the airplane on the canopy, and then the airplane's all done. And then we're going to continue on to the diorama with the figures. I had a special decal sheet made up for my figures, so stay tuned for that release, and that'll probably be in the next video. And then yeah, we'll continue on. So thanks so much for watching. I look forward to your comments on that. Please let me know what you think. And so, yeah, thanks so much, guys. So please like, share, and subscribe. Bye.